Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media technology, and items of interest that come up during the week, to include shorts and community posts here on the BuzWeaver channel. I want to thank all you guys across New Tech, as well as all of you here on YouTube, for your guys' continued support.
We start things off from CNN. Trump asked U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Colorado ruling, removing him from the ballot. Now, of course, Donald Trump has the right to appeal. More importantly, if this is decided on legal grounds, Donald Trump, of course, is entitled to due process, and he has neither been charged nor convicted of insurrection. However, the media still ran with the idea that he had already been removed from the ballot, which was not true. The court had put it on stay, probably waiting for the Supreme Court to make a ruling on this, which to me is a political move. So basically, in generic terms, they rolled the dice on their opinion and then waited to see if they would be called out on it. And it's just really a political play is what it is. It's really despicable. Not only that, but the fact that the media ran with it saying that Donald Trump had been removed, and of course he was not, as we covered in a previous video. And, of course, it was never corrected within the media, at least within levels of responsibility or clarification that everyone could understand. Not surprising. Donald Trump has formally asked the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn the Colorado State Supreme Court ruling, that removed him from the state's 2024 ballot under the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause. In our system of government, of the people, by the people, and for the people, which we aren't at the moment, Colorado's ruling is not and cannot be correct. Attorneys for the former president wrote in a filing for the court, which is obtained by CNN. And of course, as I explained, the president is entitled to due process. And of course, he has neither been charged nor convicted of insurrection. And this is never explained by the media, or some portions of the media, but it's never emphasized. Of course, I'm emphasizing it here because it's important for regular people to see this. But of course, in the algorithm of YouTube, when you look this up, you're probably not even going to come close to finding this video in the search because, of course, YouTube prioritizes all of the mainstream media, legacy media first. Like the other day, I looked up the Epstein situation, and I saw a particular selected content creator who's on the left with, I think, 1.4 million. He was the only creator I saw that was on that list. And, of course, he's a far leftist, trying to suggest, of course. Anyway, I digress. Suffice it to say, if you try to look this up to get clarification, you're probably not going to find it unless you dig deep into it or are on, for example, following me on my social media, where on social media, like Twitter, where people can, or X, where people can speak clearly and concisely, you would see, of course, that many people said in very simple language, Donald Trump has not been given due process, nor has he been convicted, nor charged nor convicted. It's absolutely extraordinary. The Supreme Court is facing mounting pressure to settle the question on whether Trump, that's what they want. They want to put pressure on the Supreme Court to rule on it, because even if they rule in Trump's favor, which it should be by common sense, they can blame the Supreme Court and, of course, suggest and continue with their narratives that the Supreme Court is within itself rigged to look out for the president, when in reality they are simply following law. And these individuals, it should be clear that they're rolling the dice, taking chances, getting headlines for the purposes of political attention. The frontrunner for the GOP presidential nomination can be disqualified from holding public office as state courts and election officials have come to differing conclusions across the country. The first consists of the 2024 primary, the first contest of 2024 primary begins in a week. Now, let's just take a moment and look at this particular discussion. So, the 14th Amendment was written in 1868. It was passed by the Senate on June 8th, 1866, and basically it was ratified 2 years. It was ratified 2 years later in 1868, and the 14th Amendment granted citizenship to all persons born of nationalized in the United States. Now, of course, the last time this came up, I guess, widely in media is when a particular actor that was governor in California, who goes by the name of Arnold, and in no way, shape, form, process, typing, anything can we say his last name on YouTube. The AI will flag the video immediately. So you guys should know who I'm talking about. Arnold starts with an S with a particular pronunciation within his name that the AI would trigger and, of course, potentially even have your channel canceled because, of course, people, you know how people are. They always try to get away with saying certain things and using wordage in certain ways. Anyway, suffice it to say, you can see here, under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who have previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States as a member of the state. And then I think it was the continuation of that is that was involved in insurrection, or rebellion. And, you know, this doesn't apply to a sitting president. And that's another point that people are making. This doesn't apply to a sitting president who has levels of immunity. And, of course, the Democrats and the left immediately then try to go on to this absurd ideology that then Joe Biden would be able to do just about anything he wants to face immunity. No, it needs to be very specific language when it comes to Donald Trump. And when it comes to the fact that he was not involved in insurrection, because, of course, the left will run away with this, which is what they want to do. They want, as I said earlier, they want SCOTUS to rule on this so that they can go into a whole other narrative, two different scenarios of narratives. One, they can blame the SCOTUS for making this sort of decision. That's why it needs to be unanimous by SCOTUS. But it also needs to be in very clear language that Donald Trump specifically, and needs to be repeated, is entitled to due process, was not charged nor convicted of insurrection, and has immunity from this particular accusation because, as I understand it, having been written in the 1800s, in the 1860s, was to ensure that Southerners, people within the Union, could not run for office because, of course, they were concerned that if they get into power, then other things could happen and so forth and so on. But suffices to say, it's absurd. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this short that I posted, but I think Vivic Ramaswami points it out perfectly, and I want you guys to listen. Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in this clip of Vivic Ramaswamy, he's calling out the mainstream media for the liars that they are.
All I'm saying, one more thing I would say I'm looking forward to is I want to have a conversation, because the historical pattern with the media is lie, lie, lie again. When proven to have lied, hide from accountability. From the Hunter Biden laptop story to the origin of COVID to the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that never was. I'm still waiting for one honest anchor in the mainstream media to just look their own audience in the eye and say, hey, I apologize. We lied to you, we got it wrong, and we'll never have this happen again.
Not going to ever happen, because it isn't necessarily the anchors or the reporters or the journalists that are able to just say what they want, because, of course, they have to answer to their management. They have to answer to their editors. They have to answer to the owners of the particular media agency. So it isn't like any of these anchors can come out and just express their own ideologies, philosophies, and worldviews. We saw a perfect example of this with Tucker Carlson when he came out and gave his very distinctive opinion and outline, which was actually very correct. But of course, he was fired due to pressure from these very agencies as well as the establishment. So when it comes to this ruling, it should be very clear. It should be very concise. It should be outlined by the Supreme Court as to why they made the ruling of Donald Trump not having due process, or not given due process. He was neither charged nor convicted of insurrection, to clarify this. But as I said, the Democrats and the left and the establishment will just simply shift the narrative, blame SCOTUS, redefine language, because this was actually an opinion by the Colorado Supreme Court, more based on their opinion, and in stay, which means it was not actually initiated for him to be removed, because, of course, there's again, they couldn't go against our own system, although they rolled the dice because they know that Donald Trump is entitled to due process and was never convicted nor charged, which is absolutely irresponsible. If you look at it from any practical way, it's irresponsible of them to just simply come out with this opinion, so that the media can run with headlines that he's been removed from the ballot. It's absolutely absurd. But I'd like to get your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section. And as I tell you guys, it's going to be a very wild 2024, and we're already seeing these things unfold like we saw with the Epstein list. But nonetheless, that's what I have for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. I want to thank all of you guys for the likes, the shares, and the comments. And, of course, below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, so make sure you're following me there. As well as if you're an Amazon Prime member or order frequently from Amazon below this video, you can find my landing page that you guys can use to order from, and it helps out the channel, so it's greatly appreciated. And of course, all of you on YouTube watching now, you will see the channel icon appearing there on the screen. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys next Friday behind the Galaxy phone camera next week.